chance to hear it, so let her tell it. People on the streets say Sabrina speaks. Tune into the show, she will let you know. Tell all your friends and family. Real talk is no joke. You get the news straight up from grassroots and concerns. You hear some people gone, so tell all your friends to tune in to
Good evening, Cayman. I'm Sabrina Turner, and welcome to Sabrina Speaks, your daily dose of clarity, truth, and community insights. Every weekday from 5 to 6:30 p.m., we're tackling the issues that affect you, from national headlines to grassroots concerns. Whether you're in traffic or winding down your day, this is your chance to hear it straight and speak your truth. So buckle up, Cayman. We're not holding back.
This is the show. We gotta let you know. Now we got to go.
And now here's Sabrina.
Way. Yes, there we go. We got the volume on. Yes, we got it. We got it. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, one and all, to our friends and family near and far. It is good to be back with you here this evening for another episode of Sabrina Speaks, Voices of the Islands, Conversations for the World, the podcast where voices rise, stories unfold, and inspiration takes center stage. I am your host, Sabrina, and it's good to be back with you here this evening. Yeah, I see you. I see you, Connie Bunny. Football got you late, huh? Whether you call it football or you call it soccer, you know what? It is in the air. And oh my gosh, I don't know who snuck out from work or who was watching it on their smart devices, but yeah, that was a pretty good opening game. Yeah, man. And if that is what we're going to expect for this World Cup, then boy, put in your vacation request from now. Don't call in sick. Don't, you brute. Don't worry, that's me too, but I got here a little earlier than you. So when you don't see me, my love, answer you immediately. You know your girl is on the hustle. But yeah, everything, all the devices, everything, we're going, and I'm trying to do all I got to do, and you can't move and you're listening. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't mind it, to be honest with you. Football is sweet. I hear you. Yeah, I'm quite sure everybody got taken off, got sidetracked this afternoon, earlier on today with the match and getting into the World Cup fever for sure. And the opening, I must say, the opening was good, very entertaining. And yeah, I really must say, but I got a little wrap up because it is that season. I'll do that little wrap up to give you all the highlights, or well, pretty much a synopsis, little update for those of you who may be not so fortunate to steal and take a look on your smart devices or in your phone or go into a conference room, but you know, to watch it. So what I've done is that I have made myself a promise after the business market roundup. I'll give you a synopsis of the latest based on when we're live. Yeah. So I'll do a little roundup on the results for today and what's coming up. But yes, it's good to be back with you on this Thursday as we ease on in. This is the eve going into a long weekend. Don't know who is excited, but I am, and definitely I'll be somewhere just taking in some games and just hanging with family and friends. 345-936-8255 is the number to call in live and join in on the conversation. You're always free to send me a WhatsApp as well, as long as it's not too long. I understand why some of you actually do lengthy WhatsApp. Totally, I get it. But if it's really too long, I'm not going to be able to really accommodate all of those, especially based on the subject matter. Short, concise, better. Outside that, I encourage you to weigh in on the conversation. Just call in live, 345-936-8255. So I'm not ignoring you. It's just that it all depends on exactly how long those statements are on WhatsApp that'll whether or not I would be able to entertain them live right here on this space. But please, please, please make sure that you like, share, follow the page. So, and with your friends, so you don't miss an episode. Oh no, we don't want you to do that. And it's easy for you to find us as well. We're seeing where some of you are having some challenges. Thanks, Sandra, for telling you how to find us on the platform. It really makes a world of a difference when you got to get an idea of how things run here. But please remember, the views expressed by callers, guests, and online commenters are their own and not those of Bridge Media Limited, its affiliates, the Sabrina Speaks Show, or the host. Nope, this program is for general information only and not a substitute for legal, medical, financial, or professional advice. Now, all participants are reminded to speak responsibly and respectfully. Any content that is defamatory, discriminatory, unlawful, or harmful is strictly prohibited and will not be endorsed or tolerated. By continuing to stream us, listener participation implies acceptance to this disclaimer. Well, yeah, like I said, it's good to be back with you this Thursday evening. And we'll just get straight into it because, some of you love, and again, thank you for the continued feedback that I'm getting. I must say, I'm loving it. I'm loving it very, very much. And not all the time, the topics here will be so hard hitting. It's relevant. I try to look at the season. Friday is Free Flow Friday, unless we have a guest that's preferred that day. But Free Flow Fridays, it will be. So please don't just take that it's all going to be loom and gloom. But for the feedback so far that I've received, based on the past 48 hours, I must say I'm happy for the feedback that I've gotten. And it shows that you're getting it, you're understanding, and you're not taking it personal, but you get a better understanding. And that's how we all learn here in this space. So again, from the bottom of my heart, this side, thank you so much for your feedback. Let's go straight into the weather forecast for this evening and into tomorrow. Compliments of our friends over there at the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. Yes, because for this evening, the synopsis is calling for moderate southeasterly winds and seas that are expected to continue across the Cayman area for the next couple of days. Now, available moisture present in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere will support the presence of cloudy skies. Satellite imagery shows numerous multi-layered clouds that are drifting across the Northwest Caribbean. With that, the forecast for tonight is calling for cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers. Temperatures will fall to the low 80s. Winds will be southeast 10 to 15 knots. Now, seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Tomorrow's forecast is calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of isolated showers. Temperatures will rise to the upper 80s and winds will be southeast 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. There will be a high tide this evening at 7:35, a low tide at 1:40 a.m. in the morning tomorrow, and another high at 6:30 a.m. Sun will set this evening at 7:02, and sun will rise tomorrow morning at 5:48. Now, the outlook is calling for an increase in showers that is expected for Saturday as a tropical wave drifts across the Northwest Caribbean. So even though we're heading into a long weekend, and I know a number of you got plans to actually probably go out on a boat, hook up with some friends. You're just going to find a nice little watering hole to just chill out and watch the soccer, the football game, whatever you're going to label it, whatever you choose to do. We just going to keep you up to date with everything that's happening with the weather. And we hope that you appreciate all that we are doing there for you. Welcome, welcome, one and all. I see you, Harry. How you doing this fine Thursday? How's the weather over there? Whatever it is, keep it. Let's take a look at what's making the news here on Sabrina Speaks for this Thursday afternoon, starting with local news. The Cayman Islands government has released a summary of the cabinet's meeting held on Wednesday, June 3rd. At that session, the cabinet approved supplementary funding for the Cabinet Office, which will be reported to Parliament under the Public Management and Finance Act. Cabinet also reviewed and noted the Portfolio of Legal Affairs 2025 annual report, authorizing it to be tabled at the next sitting of Parliament. Now, members further approved 6 conditional exemptions under the Caymanian Protection Act and authorized the publication of the Roads Act declaration outlined in PCM 367 and BP 711. In response to concerns raised during recent community meetings held by the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, Sister Islands officers have stepped up targeted traffic enforcement across Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Since the 1st of June, patrols have increased in key areas, particularly around school zones. Officers have issued 15 traffic tickets, including 6 for speeding and 9 for offenses such as failing to wear a seatbelt, illegal tint, and operating an unlicensed vehicle. Police also arrested 2 men, one on suspicion of DUI and another for driving without a valid license, while a third man received a warning of intended prosecution. Inspector Lang says these checks will continue as efforts to improve road safety move forward and motorists across all 3 islands are urged to drive with care. The Ministry of Health and Environment and Sustainability, together with Public Health Department, says it continues to monitor ongoing whooping cough activity in the Cayman Islands. Now, officials confirm that the identification of new cases shows that illnesses is still spreading locally and that preventative measures remain essential. Residents, however, are encouraged to stay alert for symptoms and seek medical advice promptly, especially after close contact with a confirmed case. Health authorities are also urging eligible individuals to take advantage of vaccination opportunities with community outreach immunization clinics that will be beginning on June 20th. And in other local news this evening, the Minister of Education, Honorable Ralston Anklin, has completed his tour of all government schools across Grand Cayman and Cayman Brac, wrapping up with a visit to the Cayman Islands Further Education Center. The minister, joined by senior leaders from the Ministry and Department of Education Services, toured classrooms to facilities and met with student leaders, teachers, and the school's senior leadership team. The visit provided insights into SIFEX achievements and areas for continued improvement, reinforcing the ministry's commitment to engaging directly with school communities and supporting educational excellence across the islands. The Mosquito Research and Control Unit is carrying out extensive control operations across Grand Cayman following the season's first major mosquito emergence. Official says this annual surge typically coincides with the start of the rains, but this year's increase was driven by tidal flooding in coastal wetlands combined with recent rainfall. MRCU teams are now intensifying treatments to reduce adult mosquito numbers and limit further spread. Residents may notice increased activity as operations continue across the islands. The Wellness Center has announced the promotion of Felicia McField to clinical manager. Since joining the organization in 2017, she has played a key role in advancing clinical standards, client care, and multidisciplinary services. Director Dr. Shannon Seymour says that the promotion reflects Felicia's outstanding commitment to clinical excellence and her significant contributions to the community. As Cayman's only registered play therapist, she brings extensive experience across mental health settings, using evidence-based approaches to support children, families, and adults. Now, the center is congratulating her on this well-deserved achievement. And congratulations to you as well from all of us. As we wrap up the local segment of our news here this evening, we congratulate the latest recipients of Cereba's first-time Caymanian Home Buyer Grant Program. Now, the initiative continues to help more Caymanians take their first step into the property ladder. And recipients are wished every success as they begin their home ownership journey. Let's turn our attention this evening over to regional headlines. The government of Bermuda has marked a major milestone in the digital future with landing of Google's new subsea cable systems. Now, Premier David Burt says that the investment strengthened Bermuda's position in the global digital economy, enhancing connectivity, resilience, and the island's role as a trusted digital hub. Officials noted that the new Nuvem and Solo systems will support innovation, attract investment, and create future-focused jobs. Now, Home Affairs Minister Alexia Lightburn says reliable connectivity is now essential infrastructure, bringing global opportunities closer to Bermudans. Now, the achievement reflects growing confidence in Bermuda as a secure, well-regulated center for digital connectivity. The Human Resource Management Association of Barbados says employers are finding it increasingly difficult to attract and retain staff as workers place greater emphasis on workplace culture, flexibility, and opportunities for career development. The association warns that traditional recruitment methods are no longer enough to meet today's expectations. Human resources leaders says organizations will need to adapt, modernize their practices, and create environments that support growth and well-being if they want to remain competitive in the Barbadian labor market. Deputy Governor David D. Archer Jr. is representing the Virgin Islands at the Overseas Territories Deputy Governors and Head of Public Service Summit, now on the way in Bermuda. Now, the gathering, which runs from June 9th to 14th, brings together senior public service leaders to discuss governance, leadership, and public sector transformation across the territories. At a welcome event last evening, Deputy Governor Archer Jr. joined counterparts from Bermuda, the Turks and Caicos Islands, and the Cayman Islands, including Cayman's Deputy Governor, Honorable France Manderson, and newly appointed Deputy Governor, Gloria McFeel-Nixon, along with senior officials supporting the delegation. Turn our attention to the U.S., yes, because the Pentagon has returned to normal operations after a shelter-in-place was issued earlier today when air quality sensors detected a potential hazardous materials issue. Hazmat teams from the Pentagon Force, Pentagon agencies, and Arlington Fire and EMS swept affected areas, but subsequent testing confirmed no hazard exists. Officials say that the precautionary lockdown was lifted once the all clear was given, and no dangerous substances were found. Now, the Department of Defense thanks first responders for their swift response as the building resumed full operations. There you have it. As you see where things here are heating up, definitely, we see where it continues to just build and grow, and we're definitely not short of news here for you in the studio. Nope, not one bit. Just give me a minute. Let me grab some more images here for you. I hope that your Thursday is going fine. This is when you run your own production. You just got to do what you got to do to make it flow. But I thank you for joining me this evening as we continue here with our news segment right here on the Sabrina Speaks platform. and we will be bringing you more news from around the region and international, as well as we wrap up this segment here, going into giving you the highlights of today's football, soccer, whatever the heck you call it. Yes, we're going to give you all the latest of that. And for those of you who were fortunate enough, there we go, fortunate enough to watch it live, I hope that you weren't disappointed and that you were excited, because you actually witnessed history in the making here today. Oh, yes, you did. Let's continue as we wrap up this section here of the news segment this evening on the Sabrina Speaks. We see where Amazon founder, yes, Jeff Bezos, is pushing back against predictions that artificial intelligence will lead to widespread job losses. Speaking this week, he argued that AI will instead help user in what he called multiple golden ages, suggesting the technology will expand opportunities rather than eliminate them. Now, Bezos' comments come amid ongoing global debate about long-term impact of AI on employment, productivity, and economic growth. The king spent the day in Grimsby meeting local leaders, organizations, and businesses working to shape the town's future and expand opportunities for the community. At Horizon Youth Zone, His Majesty met young people and learned about after-school programs designed to build confidence and social skills. Now, he later visited the Care Hub, which provides community support and housing services, before heading to Bundell Park, home of Grimsby Town Football Club. Now there, the king met members of Our Future Collective, a national charity helping residents drive citizen-led change across the town. The Financial Times is reporting that SpaceX has raised $75 billion in a record-breaking initial public offering, instantly placing Elon Musk's company among the largest in the United States. Now, the rocket, satellite, and AI group priced 555.6 million shares at $135 each, reflecting massive investor demand. Now, analyst says that the IPO marks one of the most significant market debuts in recent years, underscoring SpaceX's expanding influence across space technology and communications. In our business market roundup today, we see where global markets close higher today, with the U.S. indices posting strong gains, and the Dow Jones finished sharply up, while the S&P 500 and NASDAQ also advanced on renewed investor confidence and a rebound on tech stocks. In Europe, the FTSE 100 and other major indices ended the day mostly higher. Regionally, Caribbean markets saw light trading activity with no major movements reported at the time of us going live. Now that wraps it up, but it's time to get your feel and see what we are feeling in the result of today's opening game. Yes, what I'm talking about, the 2026 FIFA World Cup opened today, with Mexico defeating South Africa 2-0 in Mexico City. Juan Quinones and Raul Jimenez score in a match that was also saw a historic 3 red cards. The second Group A match, South Korea versus Shensia, kicks off later this evening as opening day action continues across North America. Now, please note that this year's competition is the largest ever, and it's featuring 48 teams across the United States, Mexico, and Canada. But guess what? FIFA has confirmed that the World Cup champion will receive $50 million, the highest winner's prize in the tournament's history, as the expanded format delivers a record prize pool. There you have it for all of my football, for all of my soccer fans, for all of you who have taken vacation, for all of you who may be flying off to take in it. Kudos to you. And I hope that you be safe and that you are enjoying this series, this season. Yes, however you decide to celebrate it. Let me just send huge birthday greetings out to my dear friend in the BRAC. Yes, Miss Liz. Miss Liz is celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday, Miss Liz. wishing you many, many more birthdays, my love. And I'm hoping that you're having a blast and that you're just going to have a whale of a time. From all of us here on the Sabrina Speaks family, we definitely want to send you well wishes. Yeah, definitely. Happy birthday. And to all of you others who are celebrating birthdays, our same goes out to you. And anniversary, you may be celebrating life. You know what? You're remembered. Yes, from all of us here on the Sabrina Speaks family, we want to, share that with you and let you know that you're remembered, and we are wishing you all the best on your special day here today. I want to make sure I grab some of these images here for you for the next segment, of course, because I see where we're definitely heating it up here with community announcements for sure. Yeah. And I want to take this opportunity to not forget and acknowledge those who are mourning the loss of a loved one. We know that a number amongst us in our communities are mourning the loss of a loved one, and we want to let you know that our thoughts and prayers are with you. And just in case you weren't aware, the family of the late Kenneth Elroy Barnes Christian, is announcing his passing on Saturday, the 23rd of May. And left to mourn in his passing is his spouse, Miss Evelyn Barnes, his children, Elroy's, Shirley Ann, Darlene, Suzette, and Faith and Debbie, his sisters, Julie, Kathleen, and Judith, and brothers, Joseph, Texford, and Ricky. Now, please note that the funeral service for Mr. Kenneth will be held on Saturday, June the 20th, at 10 a.m. and the viewing is from 9:30 until 10, and that will be at the Church of God Universal here in Walker's Road, with interment being followed at the Prospect Cemetery. So, our thoughts and prayers go out to Mr. Kenneth. I know Mr. Kenneth. My family knows him. Who doesn't know Mr. Kenneth? I mean, gosh, yeah, but, we just want to let you know that we share and we feel that with you. And our thoughts and prayers are with you all. And also Mr. Owen Henry, a dear friend of mine. Oof, I've gotten some double licks. But his funeral service will be held this Saturday. That's for Mr. Owen Henry. Yes. So there we have it. Let's turn our focus right now this evening to our community announcements here as I grab those images in. We want you to know that the Department of Environmental Health advises that the Georgetown landfill will close at 1 p.m. on Monday the 4th. No, the 15th. On the 15th. Yes, it'll be closed, early closure on the King Charles birthday. This is the 15th. And normal collections and so forth will be as usual, though. So we just want people to know of this. And if you have any further details, you can call 949-6696 or email dehcustomerservice@gov.ky for more information. Also, for my friends over there in the BRAC, this is a public service announcement for you that Watering Place Gardens will be temporarily closed on Saturday the 13th of June from 6 p.m. to accommodate a private function. Now, for more information, you're instructed to call the District Commissioner's Office at the Department of District Administration, and that is 948-2222. So there you go. Just in case you had any plans, just letting you know that that is the latest information on that for you here this evening on Sabrina Speaks, keeping you in the know. And also Water Authority, I got to make sure I share this with you, because Water Authority Cayman advises that the next round of service disconnections will take place on Tuesday, the 16th of June. And the areas that will be impacted by disconnections include Cayman Brac, Industrial Park, Windsor Park, Crew Road, and Central Georgetown. Now, please, customers, you are encouraged to settle outstanding bills to avoid any interruption in your service. So there you have it there. And gotta let you know, yep, we got a new one that is here. I got a new image. Woohoo! Mango Fest. Celebrate the sweet, spicy, sunny side of summer with Mango Fest of 2026. Now, there will be a pre-launch dinner that will be on the 3rd of July from 6 to 9 at the Indigo Hotel. And there is a surcharge of $30 per person. Now, that's pretty cheap. Oh, yeah. And the Mango Fest market will actually take place on Saturday, July 4th from 5 until 8 p.m. in the evening. And that will be at the Cayman Islands National Museum on the waterfront. Now, that will be free. So, yes, if you want to go and for the pre-launch dinner for $30 at the Indigo, get dressed up, get a few friends. Why not just go down and have some fun? So this is an early notice of this for all of you who may want to take it in. Yeah. We want to let you know so you can just take part in that. And gentle reminder, because of Prospects PTA, yes, these Donuts with Dads event that's happening on the 19th of June from 10:30 to 11:30. And students are invited. They're allowed to bring those father figures, could be a brother or uncle, stepdad, or even your dad. You know, any male that is in their life, they will be allowed to be joining them for a morning of making memories and sweet treats. Yeah, why not just jump in and make those lasting memories? And Ebenezer Church, yes, Adventist is department is Paint and Praise that is taking place. That's taking place on June 14th, 5 p.m. Refreshments will be served, and this also comes with the entry fee of $50 for adults and $20 for children. And you know why? Because it's a brunch style experience. And we know how they throw it down with healthy eats, and it's delicious. Yeah. Prayer, paint, praise. And this is the second edition of this. So this is not the first time. This is the second time, and this continues to grow. So anyone want to take this in, put this in your calendar and things to do, definitely mark your calendar, save the date for that event. Now, my apologies if I'm missing anything. It's time for that segment of the day where I highlight, I showcase, and I show my love to you all. Miss Barbara G is in the house. Good evening to you, Miss Barbara. How are you? Oh my goodness. And we did it. We actually did it. Oh my gosh. I'm timing myself, just making sure that I become disciplined in this space, because, you know, as we continue to grow here in this space, we're eventually going to be on radio. And I got to make sure that I get a lot of stuff in without seeming to, you know, be rushed or anything like that, but still showing our appreciation and love for all of you and showcasing and making sure we get all of the good stuff out. So, Ms. Barbara G, good evening to you, my sweet. And hello, Connie Bonnie. Guess what? Jimbo got the message. And he's doing fine. He's doing fine. Just put it like this. Just keep loving Jim, but he's fine. He is fine. And it's okay if you divorced him. He knows he got me right here. And he's in the house. Good evening. Good evening. But Miss Shelma was asking about Jimbo. Jimbo is fine. That's an update from Jimmy. Jimmy is fine. And we will be hearing from him soon. So good evening to you, Annie. Connie is rolling over in laughter. And you brute, you saw the game, didn't you? Trust me, Mexico played well. Yes, excellent. Harry from the UK, our UK family, is in the house this evening. Good afternoon to you, my sweet. Good night to you. Almost good morning. It's 11:34 in the United Kingdom. Thank you for staying up with us, Harry. Damian Henry is here. Good evening, all. There is nothing wrong with stepping back, recalibrating, or choosing rest over relentless motion. Your system is wiser than you think, and it speaks in sensations long before it speaks in words. When life starts stacking demands faster than you can process them, your brain sends a signal: tension, fatigue, irritability, fog. That's not failure. That's feedback. Pay attention to the signs. You are quite right, Damien. Thank you so much for your loyalty and sharing those inspirational words and encouragement as well, even hints. We appreciate them. That's like we appreciate you. And all of you who are joining us, and all of you who are loyal fans, followers, and show up every time we go live, and even those who show up after the live ends. We appreciate you because I get your feedback. Harry is saying the cutest thing that I've ever seen every 4 years is the NFL Super Bowl versus World Cup final viewer competition, and the Super Bowl always get absolutely smashed. That speaks volumes, Harry. It just shows Caribbean spirit. Yeah, but it is quite interesting. So there's just something different. There's something different about, for this. The mood, the build up, all of the entertainment. What I love is the vibe, the chanting, the different music at different times. It's just like, it's different. It is. I'm not going on about setting it in a tree house. I'm not going on a boat. I'm sitting in a tree. Oh my God, you're something else. North Carolina love is in the house. Good evening, Marshall. It's always a pleasure to have you join us. Always good to have you comment. Let us know you're around and you got us locked in. It's good. Andrew is here as well, and blessed Thursday to you as well. Hope you're on the mend and continue to improve with your laryngitis or whatever the heck that was you bleaming on the Saharan dust. Good evening to you as well, Alfred Real. Darlene is also here. Blessings to you. And go on King Charles. Oh, yes, you're picking up that section of the news. Yes, Plain and Straight is also joining us. Plain and Straight, good evening to you. He's saying to Cayman and to myself, much, much appreciated. Yeah, Connie, you're laughing. After you divorced a man, you pack him up and you sent him off. You packed him up and you sent him off. And now you have the audacity to ask of his well-being. Well, at least he took my message. You got the nerve about your good evening, Jim. It's all love, though. It's all love. Not everyone will understand the relationship, Connie. It's our little secret, right? Oh, my goodness. Connie still, even despite her, you pack the man up, you pack him up. Despite her being consumed in all of the football fan and love, she was still able to present us with a number of images for today's Flower of the Day segment. Yes, she is showing us in bloom, or content creator in bloom is what I got her, and Donnie called. Yes, these are beautiful orchids that she's sharing with us on this fine Thursday. Thank you so much. I know they must be loving the rain. And thank you for just being so with it. And you definitely gives me content every day. We appreciate that. And look at how it's just blooming, literally blooming and creating its own segment. We even got images out of North Carolina, and I'm hoping that we'll get more soon to come. Big up to Miss Dawn as well. Dawn from Green Valley Nursery. And the long weekend is coming up, but you don't have to have a long weekend to visit Green Valley Nursery. You can pop in, and Dawn, she has excellent selections, beautiful pots as well, I'm understanding. So yeah, for all of you persons who may be looking for a particular piece to put weather in your yard, a particular section, maybe it's that time of the year, you want to spruce up a particular section of your yard, don't forget to check Green Valley Nursery out. She may just be the solution or an inspiration for that special space. Harry also says, have you seen the videos of Europe and other international football fans showing up in Florida and across the US, and they're completely baffled? I've seen one or two, to be honest with you. And then there is some that are being refused entry, like last minute. So it's a mix of videos or images that I'm getting. But I am seeing countries or videos out of other countries who are having huge watch parties. And the feeling there with these watch parties is just amazing. You would never know that they're not on site, but there's just something that is just different when you take these games in person. Having followed basketball myself and have attended a few games, it's amazing. The energy is just totally different, but you can create that either with some friends in your backyard as well, or some countries where they were either not going, they can create that same ambiance and that feel as well, right? You can turn it into what you want. I know a couple friends that are having a few watch parties, so get those grills going and some barbecue ribs, whatever it is. Maybe you're the chip and dip type of thing with some good old corned beef and tuna for sandwiches. We put the little Caribbean twist on it. Maybe you may have some jerk chicken pieces on skewers and stuff. I don't know. I'm just giving you ideas for hosting. Anything grilling, I love. And it is the season despite the weather. A little ucky forecasted for this weekend. These are ideas. So yeah, as we celebrate and wear and represent your team or teams, unless you're like North Carolina Love Marshall. So he's going to cheer for the winning team at the end. He's not going to he's not going to be in your face telling you who he is for sure. Is there a whooping cough outbreak in Cayman? It continues to spread, but to call it outright outbreak, the numbers are stabilizing, but it's still being transmitted. So there has been a caution, just trying to get by. Yes. So there is still an alert out, and that's why I covered it in the into the news segment. So yes, it's blooming season. Connie is sharing with us. Harry is sharing at the organized signing and knits and just about everything. It's so funny where their tiny pea-sized brains can't comprehend the idea. Oh my goodness. Would you be nice? Just be nice, Harry. Harry. Good evening, Aliano. How are you? You're late, but you're still on time, my sweet. We love to have you here, even if you're late. We'll blame it on the football and you're just trying to either you're recovering from the result or you're celebrating or you're just all in the season, or maybe you were out giving tours, being a true ambassador in the industry that we're in. Whatever it was, we're glad that you're here. Yes. I will be nice to everyone except, oh my goodness. Oh Lord. They're not all the same. I'm quite sure they will say the same about the United Kingdom. You are something else. Anyhow, for those just tuning in, good evening. Welcome to this episode of Sabrina Speaks as we're getting ready to ease on into the weekend. Yes, preparing for the long weekend. The football fever is in the air as the FIFA 2026 kick off today. And for those of you who are under a rock, Mexico won that match 2-0. Yes, no football for you? Guess what? You're going to get in the spirit and the feeling anyhow. So yeah, we're just going to be covering it in here. But yeah, we're going to be talking anyhow about something, for some people, you're like, oh my gosh, we're just having all this light movement and you have to go here. But it's real. It's real. We're talking about exhaustion, not just tired. What I'm talking about is not just sleepy, but emotionally, mentally, even spiritually drained. And some of the things that you may think it is probably changes in your body, or you'd be surprised based on what could be feeling that, and you just have to just function. And that's what I discovered in preparing for today's episode, because tomorrow is Free Flow Friday and we're going to take whatever you guys throw at us. So even if Alfred wants to come and talk about dusters, or we want to just go straight ham on football, soccer, whatever, we can go there. It is Free Flow Friday. But, people are functioning, but barely. That's the truth. They're smiling, but it's thin. People are working, they're showing up, they're producing, but the joy is gone. And that's just a reality. And we see there's no different here in Cayman. I know that we're very reserved. That's proven. We are a very reserved people, and we don't even really, you can see it based on certain participations. And this is a broad brush. We're not as vocal as other jurisdictions. We see it even in the comments and all that sort of stuff. We don't always comment. That's fine. We don't always speak up. Sometimes out of fear, sometimes out of pride, sometimes because we don't want to start anything. So today, I'm bringing those voices to you, some of them. And of course, 345-936-8255. Feel free to WhatsApp me any questions or concerns or comments that maybe relate some of your stories. I got a few that I can relate to and share back with you without identifying the individuals, and I thank them. But, you know, from even the Caribbean, from overseas, people are feeling this, and they're all pretty much saying the same thing. Oh my gosh, I'm tired. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because we're in the middle of June. We're in the middle, and it's now confirmed just before, as a matter of fact, as I was coming here in the studio to get started, I saw where the weather forecasters confirmed. Remember, they said that we were preparing for an El Nino, which means the hottest ever the water temperatures have ever been. They say maybe going back to how much years. I'll cover that a little bit more, only because I heard it on my way coming in the studio. And that is now confirmed. The El Nino is in effect. It's no longer forecasted. It's no longer a prediction. It has been confirmed. And what that means is that in this part of the world where we are, is that we may get fewer hurricanes, but it doesn't eliminate us at all. But what it actually does, it sets the stage for a brutal forecasted winter, which for us, we may welcome it. We had an idea of what last Christmas was, and that is just a tidbit of what could be forecasted for the upcoming season later on in the fall and during the winter. So it's no longer a forecast, it is a fact, and they're going to expect the waters to be very, very hot. But I'll go a little bit more into that tomorrow. We can expound on that a little bit more for really what that means, not being, of course, any expert in this, but just based on research and from reliable sources, just to share it here with each one of us in layman's terms. I'm quite sure our people from the Met Office here will be speaking more about it, but we don't want you to let your guard down because all it takes is one tropical system. It doesn't take away from the fact that we are in the middle of hurricane season. We are in that belt. We are not, it does not eliminate the risk, the chance of us being hit by a tropical storm or a hurricane, but the El Nino does suppress the chances of one forming. So we can have some strong tropical waves that we've seen been lingering in our area for the past couple of days. That's a reality. But tomorrow I'll go a little bit more since it's confirmed now. Like I said, I heard it as I was coming up here. But we feel where we're getting this tiredness, this fatigue, this everything, because to be honest with you, June is a strange month, period. It's the middle, and it's the, in the middle of anything, people tend to get tired. For us here at home, if you got kids, or if you're a student, a young adult, June means exams, and that could start back as early as May, graduations. And then, of course, the heat, increased utility bills, hurricane season anxiety, and pressure, you name it, from every direction. Then you're probably planning, should I travel? Should I not? Should I go on the regular family vacation, or should I just buy that ticket to go take in a World Cup game? Decisions and choices. It all depends, right? And I just want to share something that someone wrote, and that was, to be honest with you, they sent it to me, and that was after I posted what we were going to be talking about. Thank you for sharing that with me. And this is from a Caymanian mother of 3, and it reads, "Honestly, Sabrina, I'm exhausted because everything expensive, groceries, rent, school fees. It's like every month I'm working harder just to stay in the same place." And you know what? She's not wrong. Thank you for sharing that. And yes, Cayman's cost of living is consistently among the highest in the region. And, we see based on the ESO report from 2024 that report in itself showed household expenses rising faster than, of course, wages. I've heard it. And I can feel it. And I got another one on private messenger, but this one was from a young Caymanian professional. It's amazing how the messages come through. And I thank you guys for doing it. Because sometimes you wonder if people actually see your topics and really understand, or you just wait till you go live. But yeah, when we get these privately, it gives me a chance to just bring them over. This young Caymanian professional says, I'm doing everything right. Degree, job, saving, but I still can't afford a home. It's discouraging. I have been listening to you for the past 2 days, and Miss Sabrina, I just want to thank you for just opening up my eyes. You've opened me up to the realities, and I want to thank you for using your voice. I want to thank you for using your platform, for bringing some of the most sensitive topics up, but you're not doing it. You're not doing it in a discriminating way. You're doing it opening our eyes up. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for taking that bold step and remaining in the public's eye. Oh, that one really hit home. And what I can say to you, my young Caymanian professional, is that even though we are feeling it, and thank you for the compliments, thank you for making the space, thank you for your faith and trust in me. But going in a wider lens right now, what we're seeing, what we're feeling, as you've alluded to and you've accepted, you've seen it based on our discussions. We prove that it's not just Cayman. We know, based on some of the data that I've received and research, that it found that young professionals just like yourself worldwide are feeling locked in and out of home ownership. And all I can tell you is that based on that program that I read earlier on for first time home ownership through Century 21, check in with those. People are getting through. And I hope to, whenever they do those postings, I hope that we will see a lot more persons actually being successful. So at the end of the day, as we get into this, if June feels heavy, it's not just you. It's the season. It's the pressure. It's the pace in which things are going. Yes. Let me just keep up with these comments that are coming in here. Aliana says, no long ride home from 2 tours today. Oh, from 2 tours. Okay. All right. Good for you. You got 2 tours. And he's not into the football. Alfred says, you look very regal in your duster this evening, Auntie Sabrina. Just for you, my love. Just for you. You something else. Alfred says, Auntie Sabrina, maybe the real crisis is that people are functioning well enough for society to ignore their suffering. As long as we show up to work, pay the bills, smile in public, and keep producing, nobody asks whether we are okay. So my question is, are people really coping? Or have we just normalized quiet burnout? Excellent questions. We are coping. Really is a matter of survivability, because we're seeing where it's not in isolation, Alfred. And I'll keep it up there in case people want to read it for themselves. You have no other choice, especially based on your circumstance. If you have children, you have no other choice. You adjust your personal issues, finances, way of living, and all that sort of stuff in order till you can do better or navigate the realities of what we're facing. The funny thing is that many a times when people say, hey, how you doing? It's almost like it's automatic. But are they really listening? Are they really asking you, how are you? You good? They're looking for a response, but really, what does it really matter? Some are genuine though. But I think we have to learn how to even be able to read the responses based on the setting, knowing the individual. Is it just pleasantries, respect. You know how we are here in the Caribbean. When you compare us and, let's say, the great Harry's best friends, the US, it's totally different when it comes to manners, courtesy, that sort of stuff. You know, but really coping is the really part of it is a matter of survival. Because ain't no sailboat coming for anyone. Because everyone at some point in time in their personal lives right now are stretched. And everybody is coping or experiencing something. It doesn't have to be at the forefront, but there's just something with human beings that we are resilient beings. Some can deal with the pressure, some can't. Some may need help. Some may need have coping mechanisms. Hopefully it's not to substances. Some may have a friend. We're not asking you to give us the decisions. We're not asking you to solve our problems. We're not asking you for money. Sometimes all we need is a soundboard without judgment. Because when you exchange your stories, you comfort each other, not to break that trust either. But it's amazing how just vocalizing it can help. But I think based on what I'm seeing and how I'm presenting and the subjects here, everybody is navigating something and we're all coping and surviving. So really, I think we can kind of replace that as a matter of one's survival. And some people deal with it better than others, Alfred, to be honest with you. Good evening, Denver. Welcome to the show. Always good to have you. And he's saying, good evening. Just wanted to tune in and say my comment yesterday about your show being long was not about the length of time No, I picked up on that. You know how sometimes you just say, oh my God, today was a long day. No, I get it. No, Denver, I picked it up. I didn't take it the wrong way. But to be honest with you, I felt that we covered a lot of ground yesterday. And I'm happy for it. So it wasn't just me. As a matter of fact, when your comment came through, I was somewhat thinking the same thing. I said, oh my God, I'm going to go over today. Oh my gosh, yeah. But then I was able to really get a lot out, even though we did that episode in 2 parts as a continuation. So no, by any means, my love. But thank you for clarifying. I didn't take it the other way. But thank you as much. And I hope Lisa as well understood exactly. It's the power of texting that we appreciate her openness. I understand the emotion as well with some of these subjects that we bring up here. And she clarified, I'm only speaking my mind. Yeah, we invite it. We love it. Because if this is a way to do exactly what I'm explaining, to just get it off, for us to be a soundboard, I can assure you, let me tell you this, a lot of stuff that has been exchanged here has been noted by agencies and individuals without putting down pressure. They appreciate it. And there are subtle changes being made. There are suggestions, there are ideas that have come out of you speaking your mind based on the topics, based on the discussions, based on even some of the suggestions that a lot of you have posted here. So we're not going to continue to grow, elevate, see change together nationally if we remain silent. So yes, I appreciate it. I love it. But thank you for the clarification, nevertheless, Denver. And sometimes I really wish we could stretch it out. And maybe we may end up going into there at some point in time. But there's nothing stopping me from extending. I just don't want to lose anyone. And I know how you all are not subscribing or used to following certain pages. We see where the viewership the can fall off because you're either streaming us from one platform or the other, and I would have to log off. But so I try to keep it within the 2-hour frame that we're allotted here. And of course, making sure that we cover all of your comments and your feedback, because that is what makes this space. So keep them coming in. And like I said, 345-936-8255 is the number to call us should you want to join us live, or you send us a WhatsApp there as well. Keith is with us. Good evening, Keith. How are you today? People can't even save money to go away for a vacation. Keith, you hit the nail on the head, my love. I have heard that comment a lot more recently than ever before. And some people, well, there was a combination of things though. They're financially strapped, they're seeing it, but also the geopolitical climate as well. They're not feeling as safe. And then with everything, a lot of us, unless you are a person who is not originally from here, this is the longest time. Let's say the teachers go away and they go back to their home country, or their family may come here. But a lot of them look forward to going off island to come back. And even those persons are actually finding it a struggle because of inflation. So you may not have done anything different, but because of inflation and the cost of everything just continuing to go up, and your needs, you still have to go and buy your basic supplies from the supermarket. You still have to eat. You still have to pay your utilities and your for I almost said petrol, gas for your car. These things we've seen it. We've seen it. They covered it in the news yesterday. So yes, you are quite right. Some people may have lost a job. Some people's income may have been impacted for a number of reasons that this summer may not look the same for them as it may have looked last year, or maybe even a couple of years back. And that in itself can play a mental toll. What really hits home is when the children are accustomed to a certain lifestyle and so forth, that they don't see that happening. And I'm not one for keeping the truth away from my children when they were growing up. You just can't afford it. You just can't afford it. I remember going into the supermarket and saying, look, you're allowed to get one item in the supermarket. And I do that before we get out of the car. And it is told before we left home. And I'm blessed that I've never had those temper tantrums in the store. Never, ever. That's local or overseas. I never had to go through that. So yeah, things, Keith, is looking bad. I know some of us stay. Some of us do the staycations, and even that may be looking like a far reach this year. So we'll keep our eye on it, and I'm hoping that people will trust me enough to share some of their personal stories if they so choose. I would not identify them, of course, with what plans they're making for, if any at all. Have they made any adjustments for this summer? And what has changed for them over the years? Are they still at the same pace and rate and expectations as they did 5 years ago? Has things changed post-COVID? Has things changed, let's say, over the past 4 years, over the past 3 years? What has been the significant change when it comes to summer vacation, for them? Yeah, maybe because the children are grown now and they're empty nesters, or they're more prepared to stay home because their kids are overseas for college or university, and those kids are looking to come home and they're looking to give them that good old oxtail or a good old rundown, some cassava cake. And that's how they're going to be making it. But I guess each household is different, Keith, but we just have to do the necessary adjustments in order to survive. It is that word, survive, comes up yet again. Just trying is saying, I'd encourage people to leave Cayman and move to America if they can. Bring their high skill sets and make America great. Housing is substantially cheaper, and you get remote jobs here to boot them. Oh, really? Some people look at that. It all depends. It'll be interesting because remember now, here in the Cayman Islands, we don't pay taxes. We're tax-free, but it's very expensive. So for some, that may be an alternate choice, but we understand where the US right now is clamping down on even the ability to come over. We've already identified that no country can survive without imported labor. And even though that may be a suggestion, there is a process. We wouldn't want anybody to go over there now and do it, without doing it correctly. So some people may say that's the place to go. Some people may feel it's Europe. Some people may say it's Latin America. But to tell you, just trying, that people haven't been exploring alternate jurisdictions. They have been, but we have those diehard people who are going to be loyal to the core when it comes to saving and remaining here in Cayman through thick or thin. They will stay here and they will fight to keep it and make Cayman better and be very vocal, holding our leaders more accountable, because it's one thing when you can stand up and defend and have a voice in your own country versus moving to another person's country where you may not necessarily understand the culture and almost your input, your voice is totally diminished. So to each his own, but thank you for that suggestion nevertheless. Harry is weighing in, but the Americans are obnoxious. You ask them how their day is, and they go into a 20-minute rant explaining the last week of their life. And in the UK, we expect to say, yeah, it was all right, not giving us a speech. Again, it's cultures, Harry. It's a difference in cultures. You're lucky that they even answer you. In the US, sometimes you going into a door, it's like they don't even hold the door. Please, thank you, good morning, good afternoon. They look at you like, what the hell's wrong with you? It all depends on the culture. And this is critical. If we have any plans of exploring, migrating, moving, relocating to another jurisdiction, it's important, very important, that you understand the cultures and look within yourself to see if that suits you. Because a difference in cultures can mean whether or not you will survive or not. Some people can adapt quite easy, and some people are oblivious that they cannot take the same mentality and mindset of coming from a small island jurisdiction, that it's going to be the same replicated if you go to one of the metropolitans or in a total different other country where rules are different, cultures are different. You can see it right here between Harry and Just Trying. There's a big difference between the UK and the US, and you can trickle that down even here in the Caribbean. We're just cultures. Cultures are totally different. Andrew saying adjusting to the situation is mentally affecting people. We can't change what's happening. We just need to try and adjust financially. I know it's easier said than done, especially families with children. Things not getting easier. And sometimes I could be very honest with you, Andrew. I love when my viewers, followers, subscribers, commenters actually make statements like this, because it's coming from a member of our society who's living it, who's being open, who's being real. And yes, the first part of your statement is adjusting to the situation is mentally affecting people. I stop right there. You know why? Because it's becoming a reality. Our numbers state that us here in the Cayman Islands have the highest quality and rate of living. Anything diminishing from what is a standard highest lifestyle one can get, even from those of us who are in the lowest income bracket, the standard of living in the Cayman Islands really surpasses many other jurisdictions, not even only regionally, but in the world. And anything, be it natural or geopolitical, or just realities of balancing the national budget, where it used to be a free-for-all, easier accessible, you have to tighten up the bootstraps, different things, anything in adjusting what may actually be, in some cases, look as though our quality of life is being diluted. Yes, your first sentence is correct, is mentally affecting people. And this is why the past 2 episodes was delivered in a way in which it was delivered. And I know it was emotive It was thought provoking. But you're right. But the quicker we accept that we're not in isolation, that this is happening and people are having to make the necessary adjustments, and that is worldwide, I think the less of an impact it will have on one's mental well-being. The quicker we understand, the quicker we share, the quicker we highlight and do comparison of what's happening here, what's happening there, bringing it home to the realities of what we're feeling here, it kind of makes the reality acceptance a little less impactful or damaging. So yes, you are quite right. And the more we speak about it, is the better it is. Because there is a cost for being strong. And it goes back to what Alfred Reel was saying. Yes, there is a cost about being strong because there is a pressure to being strong, especially here in the Caribbean. Because we've grown up hearing, don't complain, be grateful. Other people have had it worse. You're strong, you can handle it. Oh man, look at what you've endured. But strength in itself, my friends, has a cost. And, we just have to just be here for one another and be realistic. Make decisions that are sustainable and that is relevant to what's happening, and try to have vision, try to have foresight. Don't wait for everything to be in an emergency or a panic in order to try and adjust your sails. Based on the topics and subjects that we've been having here, and of course, coupled with your feedback, we have been sounding this whistle now for pretty much going into a year. And we're seeing where more and more things are becoming a reality. Some are being very successful. Some are being pulled back. Some have been rocked to their core. Some have had disappointments in their life, a trajectory in their life that they've had to change course that have caused one or two setbacks. That's okay. Where there's life, there's hope. But let me tell you something, being strong has a price. Denver says, our people are financially strapped because of inflation. It's just kicking in now. Give it 6 to 9 months. Didn't we say this, Denver? And again, thank you for your comment. Thank you for your contribution. Remember when the United States was having all of this big boom and everything was just through the roof? And we said eventually there's a trickle-down effect, and the Cayman Islands, this region, does not and will not feel it immediately, but eventually we would. There were actually articles that saying the impacts of this to small island jurisdictions will be felt. When? In the summer, July to August. So in reality, it's not proving wrong. What have you been doing to prepare for the reality? Yeah, so you're quite right. We've been sounding this alarm, and articles were coming out from about as early as February, March. As a matter of fact, I would say from January. And they said we will not feel the impacts of inflation because it's a domino effect. It's like throwing a pebble in the water and you see the ripples. Eventually, it will catch up with us. And what was forecasted for the true impacts and more possibly to come, because it comes in waves, would be beginning to feel it in the summer. And here we are, June the 11th, and we're already feeling it. So the mere fact that you all are speaking about it, it's saying that it is making its head. What have you done to prepare? Remember a couple episodes we even said just how you prepare for hurricane season, whether or not the forecasts is going to be low. If there's certain things that you need to stock up on, go ahead and stock up on it, because maybe in the next 2 weeks, it could go up by $10 in price. The price could double. Yeah, just to jog your memories of the discussions that we were having. So, at the end of the day, you are quite right, Denver, and thank you for sharing that with us. Live Happier is saying, I never had a vacation in my life. Oh, really? Not even a staycation? What is your definition of, I'm just being very honest, Live Happy. some people call, what is your definition of a vacation? Are you saying you've never gone off to exhale? Have you never gone anywhere? Or let's say you've traveled, but it's always been for work, or you've had kids. Remember now, I don't know the individuals behind these names. I'm just going based on your names. But what is your definition of a vacation? So we make sure we join you. I'm going to be honest with you, though. Contrary to what people may think, it's going into 7 years that I haven't had a vacation. And what I'm talking is about switching completely off, where pretty much 80% of your life is okay, that you can actually take a trip, go somewhere, see something new, just exhale and switch off. I'm entering 7 years. But to say you've never had a vacation in your life, that's why I'm asking for you to define it. So whether or not I'm not boasting about that, I have my priorities. And there's no way I could go and take out a loan or borrow money knowing that I have issues to deal with. How can I be mentally at ease on a vacation on a loan and knowing you got responsibilities to come back in phase, and it's just pushing you deeper into the hole? You understand? So to each is different. I haven't lost any sleep. It hasn't taken anything away from me, but I have my priorities set out. You think I don't feel any way when I see friends and family going to this, going to that? That's where they are in their life. And I feel a lot of times that a lot of us try to keep up with the Joneses instead of just looking at our own selves. And that in itself is creating a lot of unnecessary stress, because are we living to try and please everybody, to try and have something to talk about that aligns with others, maybe in your surroundings, that is not in the same position as you emotionally, mentally, financially, even income. And that takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of maturity to not feel any way about not being able or wanting or feeling that you have to keep up with the Joneses, as we'll label it as. So yeah, live happy. It'll be interesting to know what you define as a vacation, just so that I can understand what you mean by that. Harry is saying, and standing in line is like they've never comprehend the point of a line. The line is sacred. Scared people, the line is sacred. People, you queue in it. Yeah. You know what is another thing too, Harry? I noticed that you guys are big on returning the carts. Shopping carts. Yeah, I watch it. And there was something I saw on YouTube. And it is, I tend to, either based on where I've parked, if someone doesn't take my cart from me when I do go to the supermarket, if they don't take it from me, because it's probably somebody that I know, I tend to try and push the cart back into where the carts are actually stacked, or like in between the parking blocks. So it makes it, I'm not blocking an open space that I'll be moving from. And it's easier access, because here in the Cayman Islands, a lot of our supermarkets have staff hired to go and collect the carts. That's creating a job in some people's cases, saying for somebody to get a job. So yeah, that's interesting that you say that. Harry is saying, and standing, I've already read that one. Harry saying, I have a feeling, is this a UK thing? Because it seems that a lot of people are shocked about, seriously, the line is taking, so it might just be us, but if it is the rest, no, I could be honest with you. It irks me when I go and I line up. Perfect place. Oh, Harry, you're not going to understand this one because you've never been here. Going to Uncle Clem's. Anybody here with me? Who goes to Uncle Clem's? You're standing there in line, patiently waiting for your turn. And out comes somebody who just shouts and goes up or cut the line or try to be smart to somebody that's three persons ahead of you. And they eventually find themselves in the front of you and they get their beats and stuff. Oh my God, that bubbles me. That just boils me. It's as though they're barbaric. But that is something for me, I think. I hate it when people cut the lines. But for those of you who can relate to that, the place that comes to mind that it bugs me the most, to the point that I rarely go there. And if my family members are going, I will drop them and they'll say, Sabrina, you need anything? And if I need anything like meats, I'll say, get me this, get me that. Me? No, because my blood pressure just go up, because I just can't understand for the life of me why you would think that that's okay. It's very disrespectful that you come into a place, people are orderly and in a line, and you just feel that you're to the top of your voice and you're bullying through. Oh my God, I hate that. I hate that. And yeah, we see it on the roads as well. So yeah, Harry, I don't think it's just. It all depends on your culture. And it speaks a lot about the individual as well, to be honest. Denver says, we have hung our hat higher than people can reach. Wise warning from the old folks. Don't hang your hat higher than you can reach. But reality hits at Denver. Some people can lose their job. Some people could have illness. Some people could have just life. The what's happening around that. Let's say a business closed down or there is restructuring, and they just find themselves in a dip in a spot. I mean, reality hits. So, not to tell you that there is not truth in what you're saying, but a lot of times situations can give you a really rock to your core. And some people, it's just a reset. It's a default. You go back to hit default, and where there's life, there's hope, and you start back over from scratch, sometimes coming out even better, brighter, and stronger. So but it takes a lot of discipline, maturity, and priorities, setting your priorities straight. Barbara G is weighing in. 3/4 of the people in the United States are living on credit cards. And think about it. You never, ever own your home because you're going to be paying taxes for life. That's a fact, Miss Barbara. And that is why, they're living on a false economy. Everywhere you're going, you can get a credit card. You go in to pay your cash and they're like, no, we don't need it. That's okay. You can get a credit card today. Just give me, and in addition to that, you get an additional 15 to 20% off. Yeah, and you go home with a $500 credit card. So you go in and your bill was possibly, based on the stores, maybe $100, maybe $75, and you come out with your goods, and let's round it off to $100 and $400 in credit. Yeah, because instantaneously you get approved if you're a U.S. citizen. So you're quite right, Miss Barb. Thank you for that contribution. Andrew weighs in and he is commenting saying, we need to let go of pride and ego and look out for each other. That's how the old Cayman Islands survived when men went to sea. Start preparing for the reality by planting, storing items for the harsh time ahead. Yeah. But Andrew, a lot of people are changing from that narrative now. I'm not telling you that it still doesn't exist, but it's more isolated to your immediate family if you have that type of structure, because many families are fragmented. Many families, as well, is not as everybody's going through something, but it's almost like everybody paddling their own canoe. And that type of behavior, even though it may still be strong in some of our families here, it's fading. And it's like everybody for themselves. And it's not because there's discontent. They don't have each other's back. It's just that everybody got to try to take care of their own home first. But spinning it a little bit, we can be stronger when we come together. a lot of that has to be retaught, because when things were going good, this happened. And now that we're seeing what you're describing, it almost has to be taught back to get back what we had. So it's interesting when you look at it from a wider lens. Hey, Tartarian, how you doing? With today's technology, we don't need to go anywhere. People tend to forget vacation is for rest, not to go away and come back tired. You're quite right. You know how much people I know go away and they said, oh, Christ, I need a vacation from that vacation. You're quite right, Tartarian. Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged. That is, even when my boys were younger, you go away. Yeah, there'll be 1-2 days that you'd get it down, but between the traveling, the coming back, the unpacking, and all this sort of stuff, oh my goodness, you're tired. It's really like you need a day or two to recoup. And God forbid if you're coming to from a different time zone, we know it can take your body a little while to adjust. So OMG. Live Happy is tuning in and joining in on the comments and saying, to go on a trip, stay in a hotel, and tour like it. Oh, really? Never. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Live Happy. Let me tell you, you got to try. I don't know what your circumstances is. You don't even have to go far, but you got to do it at least once. Try your best. I don't know. But at least try it once. And maybe you may luck out. Someone may be seeing this and saying, whoever this Live Happy is, we're going to try to do our best to give them at least a trip off so that they can experience what that is. A tour, a trip on a plane, and just live like a tourist, even if it's for a long weekend. Let's see. Don't give up, Live Happy. But even if it's once, it doesn't have to be at the Four Seasons. Doesn't have to be, you get where I'm going. But just that one experience, Live Happy. Trust me, you will see it totally different. Yeah. Unless you're fearful of planes or cruise ships. Because who to tell? We don't know what could yield here from this platform. We don't know. Let's keep it positive, though. And let's keep our fingers crossed that something will luck out for you. Live Happy. Alfred said, comparison is the thief of joy. Really? Depends on how you look at it. Sometimes it does bring context. Aha. What are your thoughts on that? Harry says, most supermarkets will have a little shed thing with one of the 4 walls removed. Where all of the shopping carts are stored, and then they are to be returned by the person who got it out. Yeah, we have here in certain parking lots, based on the supermarkets, they have a designated area, like a square parking blocks, where you can put the carts there in a collection bit. But it is customary that if some supermarkets, even the cart collectors, I will label them as, they will even follow you to the car, and sometimes they'll help you unpack your cart. And guess what? When you're done, you choose to tip them or not. But again, it's out of courtesy, and they will push their cart back. Or there's a collection point in the middle of our parking lots. But yeah, that is how it is here. But I've seen that in places that I've traveled as well. Harry says, we don't hire people to collect cart except Tesco because they're weirdos, but the rest of them don't. It is a sort of expected thing, but to get a shopping cart, you have to put a pound coin in the cart. Really? Oh my God, make them try that here. Oof. Tell you cultures, boy. Cultures. OMG. Well, thank you for shedding that. That's a little weird. You see what I tell you? You see what I tell you about understanding other countries? Alfred Real says, I would watch to see if the cashier puts the pram to the back of the line. Oh, okay. I get where you're coming in. Okay. The pram at the back of the line. And if they don't, I'm putting my basket down right there in the middle of the store and walk out. They lost my business. Alfred, you've never been to Uncle Clem's. Obviously, you've not been. They don't care. It's a culture. you actually try to display that you just don't like it, you're going to end up being the problem, not the one that's causing the problem. Alfred, you need to experience that. Trust me. Now, not all the time you go in there, and this is by no means bringing down Uncle Clem's. Oh, no. You can't blame the supermarket. You can't. You have to blame the behaviors of some of its patrons. Yes. So at the end of the day, it's like, it doesn't make sense. And nowadays, with the ignorance of people, yeah, you choose your battles. You either want the product and you put up with the behavior that is more than likely you're going to probably experience, or you just don't go. And that's sad. It's sad. So not everybody, you can highlight it to them. So you choose your battles. It's that simple. Marshall is saying, not sure why some people would want to keep up with the Joneses, even them are shopping at Dollar Tree. Amen. You know how much people afraid to say that they shop at the Dollar Tree? You know how much people even scared to say that they go and shop at the Red Cross or the thrift stores? I ain't she. A lot of these tops I wear, I got from those the place in Marico Center, Marquee. I know it in America, Cannon Place. Oh boy, I proud. Proud as a peacock up in there. Oh yeah. Get good bargains too. Oh yeah. Harry says, and people care more about that pound in the cart. Oh my goodness. If Connie is saying disgusting. Oh, Connie can relate. Me, she says, I cussed him out. Go wait your turn. Oh my goodness. See, somebody can relate. Let me tell you something. My blood pressure goes up and I just, so your girl, avoid it and she don't go. She don't go. Yeah. And it seemed to be busy pretty much all the time now, to be honest with you, unless you go during the week, early morning, that sort of stuff, but don't even think about the weekends or like that Saturday afternoon. Sunday morning, it's mayhem. But yeah, so you choose, I just adjust the times that if I have to go, I choose wisely when I actually go there because I just don't like it. I hate it. Andrew is saying that credit card pushes people to get things that they want and not need, end up in worse debt. You're quite right. Again, and it takes discipline. It takes some serious discipline because it's easy to get in debt, very, very easy. Try getting out of it if you don't adjust and change your habits. Miss Barbara is saying, I went to Canada last month, was supposed to go there for 2 weeks due to the weather and a disappointing hotel. I cut my trip short, booked a flight home after 1 week. Oh, wow. You can see you not actually wasting no time. I can see a lot of us taking that stance, Miss Barbara. We're used to what we're used to. It is what it is. And that can ruin an entire trip. Oh my gosh. Just Trying is saying, Caymans get implicity taxes through fees. And imported goods. Cayman does have taxes. They just call it fees instead, just like the sticker on the car. You're quite right. Some people actually say, Just Trying. Some people said that they wish they could see exactly what it is because the indirect tax is even worse. Because at least you see what you're paying, but we're not going there with that conversation, which contributes to the higher cost of living. You're quite right, because it's hidden. It's hidden. Harry is saying we need laws about this stuff, death penalty offenses. Oh Lord, yeah. I see that's making its way again around in the region as well, where people are advocating for the death penalty. And I think it was hangings, like the gallows, Harry. I heard, I've been seeing 1-2 stories about that. So it's making its presence again. It's making its head, it seems like. Tartarian is saying, when you put the pound in the cart, it's to release it. And then you return the cart, you get your pound back. Oh, and you don't return it, then you don't get your pound back. I get you now. Here we go. Yeah. Is that just a UK thing? Well, you learn something new every day. However, top tip, if you ever find a key that you don't know what it's used for, That's for the trolley. Oh, really? Okay. Interesting. Boy, I tell you, you're sharing the secrets with us today. Ah, but we're just thankful here, I guess, based on our cost of living, if they ever think about doing that. I do know though, Harry, that we don't have to pay for the carts, but our supermarkets, one particular supermarket has sensors on their cart wheels, because they used to take them off of the lot and they used to push them down the road, take them home. You could find carts all over the place. And what they had to resort to is putting sensors on their wheels. So certain distance away from the supermarket, the wheels just freeze up and you can't take them beyond a certain distance. So yeah, and that in itself, I know that they hired people, this particular supermarket hired persons to drive literally around town and to pick up carts. Yeah. So yeah, you know what? I could do wear and tear on the tires and all that sort of stuff. And some carts were never returned. So even though we don't pay for carts here at our supermarkets, I'm quite sure if you asked some of those supermarkets how much carts that have been damaged, never returned based on inventory, it will probably blow your mind at the overhead that it has cost that supermarket. So it's very interesting. While I was reading the comments here, I had another one that came in. A Caymanian man in his 40s is saying, I don't talk about stress because a man, you supposed to handle it. Oh, I don't talk about stress because as a man, you're supposed to handle it. But truth is, I'm overwhelmed. Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing that with us. And we're finding that more and more, where our males are actually struggling much more than our females, because as you rightfully said, you're supposed to handle it. But being a man doesn't make you less of a human, because you have emotions, you have feelings, and not going into that topic again, but you're going through changes yourself. But I know that there was something I had pull up here in regards to a research. And I think I remember this when I was doing the changes that people go through. What you're actually describing, my friend, it lines up with a research that was done by PAHO. And what it declared in that research is that men are far less likely to seek mental health support because of exactly what you said. And that's pretty sad, because now we're advocating for you all to be more vocal, less judgmental, because you all are going through and feeling it just like us females. The difference is you will find females speak up a little quicker. We have our little social networks and all that sort of stuff. But what I'm hearing more, and this research actually proves it, is that you're judged much more harshly when you speak out, and therefore then you actually become more reserved. And we have to do a much better job as a society in becoming aware of this and creating more spaces where you all are not feel judged because of your gender, and a more understanding as well that you're feeling the struggles and the pressures just like everybody else. And it's okay. It's okay to vent. It's okay to express emotions. It's fine. It doesn't make you less of a man. But we know the stigma that comes with that. And it must be a Caribbean thing based on the research, because you're looked at as being the stronger gender and leaving less room for you to speak. Keep those WhatsApps coming in. You guys are active today. Harry is saying, yeah, is that just a UK thing? Oh, I did that one already. Connie is saying, and sometimes some people walk away and forgot to take it out. I found mine. Oh, that's your dollar. Your pound, sorry, your pound. They only do that in the cities over here, but it's causing absolute fury because they're constantly malfunctioning. Oh, okay. All right. Sometimes it'll malfunction on us in the store as well, where it just, and you're in the store. I've had that happen to me once or twice, and all I've did is just return. Thankfully, it happened to me 2 occasions, but I caught it early, so I just was able to just switch it out, and it was fine. So, but I can only tell you of two occasions that happened to me. Just trying is saying, don't do it. It's a trap, gentlemen. No, it's not. It all depends on who. No, you're telling them to just remain silent? I wouldn't agree with you. There are groups, though. Come on. Just trying. There are groups, and I'm getting that there are more male groups right now that are actually galvanizing, that they are coming together, and they're being a little bit more vocal, even though it's still somewhat sheltered, and a lot of people are still very reserved. But no, I wouldn't. No, we just, even if it's with your partner, even if it's with your, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't see any male. Well, like, again, I guess I'm wired differently. I actually like when that happens. And I've grown 2 boys, 2 grown adults, 2 men, and I didn't see them less when they became emotional. No, I didn't. I don't. I got another one came in here. Let me find this one. Sorry, I don't want to mess them up because I got them coming in on both channels. This one, okay. Cayman is moving too fast. I don't recognize half the places anymore. I feel like we're losing ourselves. That's just a comment. And then we got, interesting. What we're seeing though for that person, that statement that was made, and I don't know because I don't recognize the number, not that it matters, but what we're seeing that is causing this not being able to recognize in the pace is that we're seeing where rapid development can actually cause cultural, I would say, our displacement. Everything is changing. And that in itself can have an emotional strain on people because you're constantly reminiscing. For those of you who are always here, you know, when we go back into those conversations, it causes us to go back. It's those nostalgic moments. We can feel it. We can see based on the comments how it actually lightens the mood when you can go back. So, my friend, rapid development can actually, based on your statement here, that can have an emotional strain as well as you see this whole rapid development increase in our population and stuff. And yeah, that could actually risk displacing what we know as home and our culture as well. I got a comment, and I'll get this one because I'm coming back to you guys on YouTube and Facebook, because this one is key. Thank you for identifying your nature of work from a teacher. The teacher says, I love my students, but the workload is heavy. Parents expect more, the systems expect more, and we're running on fumes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I can only imagine. And not knowing where you're from, I guess you look forward to actually going back home if you're not Caymanian. But what we know for sure is that burnout is real. And I can only imagine what it's like in the school. I don't know what the life of a teacher is like, but I can only imagine based on, remember during lockdown and people had to teach their children, there was home school learning that you had to do everything on your computers. You had parents like just totally rolling out the red carpet for teachers, and they were saying that about their kids. So I can totally relate that the burnout is something. And if I'm not mistaken as well, let me just ask my little friend here. There we go. I can tell you this much, that there is a report globally. This goes back to 2024 from the OECD. Let me drag it here. OECD 2024 says globally teacher burnout is rising. Yeah. So, but silence is dangerous. And they're cautioning that when you actually are going through all of this stuff, there's no way the energies that you're actually, for teachers, that actually can spill over into the aura that you're actually projecting to your students. Weird, isn't it? Yeah, that is from an OECD 2024 from a global perspective that says teacher burnout is rising. They actually confirmed that. So we're on to something here. Thank you for sharing that with us. Another thing on WhatsApp. Okay. Oh, interesting. Want to know the life of a teacher? Yeah, I would love to really hear more. But the person is correct. Parents are expecting teachers to take on more parental roles. I didn't drag this one over. I've had to put out strong boundaries. You've had to put strong boundaries in place. Here, that's another one commenting on WhatsApp about putting boundaries in the life of a teacher. So you know what, it'll be good for me to maybe that's what we will do. You guys are on 6 weeks, and maybe I can do a segment, of course protecting one's identity, to get a real life of what it's like for being a teacher. So maybe I could get one or two of you, I don't know, who's willing to share, and it can remain anonymous. But yeah, thank you for sharing that so you can see it's real. And thank you for your comments. We appreciate it. Barbara G weighs in and says, if anyone is going through stress and overload, please reach out before it's too late. It takes a very strong man to admit that they need help. And these are real. I mean, these are real people that are coming in, and I thank them for being so candid and for sharing with us. And I will probably very much take up that offer to hear what the life is of a teacher. So that we can share that here, and probably we'll do an episode of that for you in the coming weeks for sure. Connie did a correction there and said many, or you're highlighting the word many. Denver is saying making a value judgment. Now, this happens when you apply your own morals or preferences to someone else, labeling their actions or lifestyle as good, bad, right, or wrong. And Denver further says, many people have been criticized, gone to prison when they're not guilty. Again, you hit the nail on the head in many cases as well. So, oh my gosh, thank you for your contribution, Denver. Harry says, gotta go. Bye. Have a good morning. Thank you, Harry. Looking forward for you on Free Flow Friday tomorrow. Please have a good morning. Late night here, and thank you for sticking and staying with us as usual. We do appreciate you, Harry. Keep safe. Just Trying is saying Cayman's economy is completely dependent on migrant work. How can we say we have a nation? Because at the end of the day, everyone has their role to play, and we're still a nation no matter how much Indigenous people we have. At the end of the day, we still take on that characteristic. And what we are actually fighting here is to preserve our culture, who we are, the fabric of who we are as a people. And we're seeing that constantly eroding because of the pace of development, because of the supply, the service environment. We offer service. We are a service-based economy. And we're just not having enough of our locals able to fill every role. Just Trying. So no matter what, we still got to call it as it is. It is what it is. So we have built a model where we're a service base, and because of the base and the space and the environment that we have created, it's a delicate balance. And if you listened to the past 2 episodes, and I invite you to go and look at the channel, you would understand where that's coming from, because I shared stats. I think you were here yesterday. So it kind of gives you an idea of exactly what we're referring to. And we're not going to take that away. We're proud people. We will stand up. You will have those who will fight tooth and nail to preserve what we have. And they're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We will stand. Things will have to get really bad for them to even think that they're going to relocate to somewhere else, for the same reason. This is where we're from, and we have to fight. We have to stand firm, even if we are a minority in our own country. Everyone just can't throw in the towel. And if that is the decision, then we're done. what are we leaving for our grandchildren and our children and our great grandchildren? Yeah. So Alfred is saying, okay, hold on. Sabrina, I think part of the problem is that people often don't take men's issues seriously until those issues become dangerous, destructive, or impossible to ignore. A man can be depressed, lonely, financially overwhelmed, emotionally exhausted, or quietly falling apart, and society will still expect him to perform, provide, stay quiet, and man up. Thank you for sharing that. And you're quite right. And again, it goes back to the PAHO results, where that is very high of a behavior in the Caribbean. And it's a culture, but that don't mean that it's right. So what do we do then in order to change? But let me continue to read your comments, Alfred Real. Then when he breaks down, lashes out, disappears emotionally, or makes a terrible decision, everybody asks, what happened? But the signs were there. We tell men to open up, but a lot of men know from experience that when they do, they're judged, mocked, dismissed, or seen as weak. So they suffer quietly. And the tragedy is society often mistakes a silent man for a strong man. Damien, I can get to you. This is not about saying women don't struggle. They absolutely do. But we should be mature enough to discuss men's pain without turning it into a competition. Everybody is running on empty, but men are often taught to run on empty in silence. Thank you for sharing that with us, which will go back into what I'm saying, that we got to break that. We got to break that. And if that is a culture, if that is a norm, we got to stomp it out. But that is going to take a collective decision from everyone. And society is going to have to play a role in that. I know, like I said, that there are groups, organizations that are sponsored, if I'm not mistaken, partially government sponsored as well. Let's see if I can find the name of the group. But I remember attending one where men suffer in silence, and it was predominantly men. And it was amazing at the overwhelming support of the men that showed up at that event. And the statistics that was shared was mind-blowing. And I was just happy. This is about 2 or 3 years ago. I was just happy that I could see here in the Cayman Islands that we had seen where a group was actually coming together, creating these safe spaces for men, that they're dealt with dignity, not seen less, not judged. But for everything, Alfred Real, that you have shared there, it's going to be a national effort, and it's going to be a shift in our behavior and our culture that's going to make the difference. But bottom line, we're going to have to get the men to subscribe to it as well. They're going to have to feel safe in an environment, in a surrounding, that they can be vulnerable, and be vulnerable without being judged, seeing less than, or it being thrown in their face. And it takes, to me, a real man to be vulnerable in certain spaces nowadays. If they actually become and display that vulnerability to you, you cherish that. That means they have a lot of trust in you. And this is by extension to those organizations and those groups as well. Any man who exposes their most vulnerable side to you, that's respect. That's trust that they have in you. And you need to covet that. You need to protect that. And it says that they feel that safe in your space, knowing that they can express themselves. They're not judged, and you don't see them any less. Damien weighs in and says, teachers can use the Copenhagen burnout inventory to do a self-assessment. We use it a lot. Okay, thank you for that suggestion, Damien. Denver is saying, well said to that commenter. I must say, Denver, he hit the nail on the head. But it is a cultural behavior. And it is not something that we can't stomp out. It's not something that we can't put an end to because of our share size, because of the size of our society. And what puts us in a unique position is because we do have so much nationalities here, where they then are actually faced with being away from their home, probably have had a culture shift by choice, and then the other factors that come towards them as well. And yeah, I think we're onto something here, guys. And I'm hoping that whatever these organizations are, that they will continue to garner and get the support from the male, from the community, and that we are destigmatizing a man showing their vulnerability, and we create that atmosphere, we create that space that is welcoming and embracing of our male counterparts, not being ashamed of being human, not being ashamed of saying, I'm hurting, not being ashamed of saying, look, I've had enough. I just need a break. I need just a hug. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It doesn't make them less of a man, because at the end of the day, they're human, just like you and I. And just like us females, andropause, they go through their own change in hormones that may impact the balance as well, just like us females. So yeah, I think we just need to continue to have level of discussions and conversations like this. Of course, your participation, your feedback is key in making this a success, and taking it layer by layer, creating safe spaces, creating a community in an environment that first is identifying, hey, we got to change this, embracing, accepting with dignity, and not seeing you as less. Just Trying says, just remember, gentlemen, anything you say can and will be used against you. I am not going to entertain that. Just put a positive spin. So we're going to put you in a corner of negativity, but there is hope. Tartarian says, men need a house for his family. That's the biggest headache that can cause most of the stress. But yeah, and sometimes it takes two heads together, and just be realistic. Maybe it's not the time for the house. Maybe we can only afford a townhouse. Maybe we can only afford an apartment or a piece of land, but together we will get there. That can be borne on both parties and shared that weight. And it's okay sometimes that you may have to reach out to family for help. But again, Tartarian, I think it's a shared responsibility. I think that both parties need to, it shouldn't just be on one individual. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm from the old school where back in the day it was the man's job. But now with this modern day age, both parties share the weight, and we be realistic about it. And if you got kids early in a relationship, to create a safe environment for that, guess what? Things are going to even be pushed back even further, because then you're providing for that child who didn't ask to be here. That brings us to the end of this episode of Sabrina Speaks. I want to thank all of our commenters, all of those who even chimed in by WhatsApp and anonymously as well, for those who even messaged me before the episode started. I hope I was able to give you some insight, that you were satisfied with what feedback I was giving. For those of you who come up and you participate and you comment for every show, letting me know you're there with me. Thank you. You are appreciated, you're loved and respected. And Just Trying, come with a better, more positive vibe tomorrow for Free Flowing Friday. But we love your comments. We love your participation, just keeping it real. And yeah, we appreciate all of you tuning in. So good night, everyone. Please be safe on the streets if you're venturing out, if you're setting up for maybe the next football match. I don't know what time it's going to start, or looking forward for the weekend. Do it safe. Be responsible. Good night. God bless. Love you lots. See you tomorrow.
That's a wrap for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks. Thank you for tuning in and for being part of the conversation. Remember, the dialogue doesn't stop here. Stay engaged, stay informed, and most importantly, stay empowered. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m., same time, same place, right here on CMR TV and radio, where your voice matters and your truth is heard. Until then, Cayman, take care of yourself and each other.
That's it for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks, where your voice matters, your story counts, and your truth is always welcome. Join us weekdays from 5 until 6:30 p.m. right here on CMR TV as we dive into the topics that matter most to you. Catch the show live or on demand at cmrtv.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram so you never miss a moment. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and always speak your truth.